Have you ever wondered why life seems to pass in a flash, leaving you feeling rushed, restless, and missing the moments that truly matter? If so, you're not alone, and this video may hold the key you've been looking for. Today, we're exploring the profound wisdom of a 90-year-old grandmother whose gentle, time-tested lessons, influenced by Buddhist philosophy, offer a surprising antidote to the relentless pace of modern life. By watching until the very end, you'll discover 5 simple yet powerful principles that can help you slow down, appreciate the beauty hidden in the ordinary, and find true inner harmony. These insights aren't just heartwarming stories. They're practical steps you can start taking right now. And trust me, the 5th piece of advice will shift the way you see your world. If you want to escape the endless race and finally begin living at a pace that brings real joy, you won't want to miss a single moment of what's coming next. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. The 5th piece of advice I'll share is precisely what you need to hear. It holds the potential to change how you see your life and, more importantly, how you live it. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt as though life has swept by in the blink of an eye, leaving behind a trail of hurried moments and fragmented memories? Like a film on fast forward, everything feels like a blur, rushing from one responsibility to another, checking endless boxes on life's to-do list, only to realize that you've barely had time to breathe. This thought lingered with me as I recently visited my grandmother. She's 90 years old now, a woman whose body may have grown frail, but whose spirit shines brighter than ever. Her life hasn't been easy. She's seen hardships, endured losses, and weathered storms that would break most people. Yet, as she sat in her favorite armchair by the window, sipping tea and gazing out at the world with a calm, steady gaze, she seemed utterly at peace. The afternoon sunlight poured through the window, casting a golden glow on her face. Outside, the trees in her garden swayed gently in the breeze, their leaves dancing in harmony with nature's rhythm. The scent of jasmine wafted through the open window, blending with the comforting aroma of her tea. It was as though the world itself had paused in reverence for her quiet wisdom. I couldn't resist sitting down beside her, drawn by her presence and the tranquility that seemed to radiate from her. As we sat together in that quiet moment, I turned to her and asked, "Grandma, what do you feel when you look at all this?" Her eyes sparkled, filled with a depth that only a lifetime of love, loss, and learning could create. She set her cup down gently, her hands trembling slightly, and smiled. "You know," she began, her voice soft yet steady, "when I was young, I spent so much of my life running. I was always in a rush, trying to raise a family, keep the house in order, and meet everyone's needs. I thought I had to do it all, to be everything for everyone. But now I see things differently." She paused, her gaze drifting back to the garden. "The happiest moments of my life," she continued, "weren't in the rushing. They were in the times I stopped. The moments I sat still, looked around, listened to the world, and simply loved. The truth is, all the good happens when you stop chasing and start being. Slowing down is where the beauty of life reveals itself." Her words pierced through me like an arrow of truth, striking a chord deep within my heart. How many times had I rushed through life, caught up in the demands of the moment, blind to the simple joys right in front of me? Her wisdom lingered with me long after I left her home, echoing in my thoughts and reshaping my perspective. Today, I want to share with you the 5 life-changing pieces of advice my grandmother gave me that day. Truths inspired by Buddhist teachings, designed to bring peace, joy, and clarity into your life. These aren't just empty platitudes. They're lessons born from a life lived fully and deeply. And the 5th rule? It's the one that can transform your inner world and unlock a sense of harmony you may have forgotten was possible. But before we dive in, let me ask you, do you ever feel like life is slipping through your fingers, moving so fast that you can't catch your breath? Do you find yourself drained, disconnected, and pouring energy into things that don't truly bring you happiness? If so, you're not alone. On my Telegram channel, I share practical, heartfelt techniques to help you slow down, reconnect, and find balance. It's a space where I explore ways to embrace the stillness, even in the midst of life's chaos. If you're yearning for that inner quiet, the kind that feels like standing in a serene forest or watching a gentle sunset, I invite you to visit the link in the description below this video. Let's begin with my grandmother's first rule: slowing down. When you slow down, she said, her voice steady with conviction, you begin to see the things you've been too busy to notice. Life's treasures are hidden in the moments we often rush past. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. It's early morning. Instead of reaching for your phone or diving headfirst into your responsibilities, you take a different approach. You sit by the window with a warm cup of tea in your hands. You feel the gentle warmth of the cup, inhale the soothing aroma, and take a sip, letting the flavors dance on your tongue. You gaze out at the sky, watching its colors shift as the day awakens. For a few precious moments, you're not thinking about yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's uncertainties. You're simply present. This is mindfulness, a gift that Buddhist teachings have celebrated for centuries. When you slow down, you step into the present moment, and the world around you begins to unfold in ways you may never have noticed before. You hear the bird song, the rustling leaves, the hum of life itself. You feel the texture of your own emotions, and for the first time in a long time, you breathe deeply and truly feel. Slowing down doesn't mean you accomplish less. It means you experience more. It means you allow life's beauty to touch your heart in ways that rushing never could. My grandmother's wisdom is a gentle reminder that life isn't a race to be won. It's a melody to be savored, a story to be cherished, and a gift to be treasured. So, take her advice. Slow down. Let go of the rush. Sit by the window. Breathe deeply. Savor your tea. Notice the sunlight. Listen to the whispers of the world around you. Because when the years have passed and the noise has faded, these are the moments you'll hold closest to your heart. These are the moments that make life truly worth living. And as we continue, I'll share more of my grandmother's wisdom. Each piece is a gem that has the power to illuminate your path. Let's uncover them together, starting now. The second rule is finding joy in simple things. In a world that often values grandeur and achievement, we forget that the deepest sense of contentment often comes from the smallest, most ordinary experiences. Those quiet moments that carry within them the magic of life itself. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. My grandmother, a woman of remarkable wisdom and grace, once shared a deeply personal secret with me. She said, "Sometimes when the world feels overwhelming, I retreat to my garden. There, I simply sit and watch as the sunlight filters through the leaves, creating patterns that seem to dance across the earth. I listen to the birds, each song different yet harmonizing into a melody that feels like it was composed just for me. In those moments, I feel something deeper than happiness. I feel alive. It's a kind of peace that no amount of wealth or success can buy. These simple, fleeting moments bring me a joy I never knew was possible, and they remind me of what it truly means to live." Her words have stayed with me, resonating deeply as a reminder to slow down and appreciate the beauty that surrounds us every day. We often chase happiness in the big milestones, achieving a goal, buying a new house, or taking an extravagant vacation. But the truth is, joy isn't hiding in some distant future. It's already here, waiting patiently in the quiet corners of our daily lives. The key is to notice it, to be present enough to truly see it. You too can embrace this practice and find joy in the simplicity of life. Start small. Each day, commit to seeking out 3 moments that bring a smile to your face or warmth to your heart. It could be the gentle warmth of the sun on your skin as you step outside in the morning, a soft breeze carrying the scent of blooming flowers, or the way your favorite song lifts your spirits. Perhaps it's the taste of a meal lovingly prepared by someone you care about, the sound of rain tapping against the windowpane, or the sight of a child's laughter lighting up their face. Whatever it is, pause and let yourself feel it fully. Don't rush past it. Instead, savor it, like you would a delicious meal or a cherished memory. To deepen this practice, write these moments down. Keep a journal or a notebook, and each evening, take a few minutes to record the things that brought you joy that day. It doesn't have to be long or detailed, just enough to capture the essence of what made your heart lighter. Over time, this habit will become a treasure trove of happiness that you can revisit during challenging times. On days when life feels heavy, these small reminders will be a beacon of light, guiding you back to the truth that joy is never as far away as it seems. This idea isn't new. It's a wisdom echoed in ancient teachings like Buddhism. The philosophy reminds us that happiness isn't something we need to chase or earn. It's already here, in the present moment. Be here now, it says, for every breath, every sound, every sensation is a gift. The challenge, and the beauty, lie in learning to notice it. Think of life as a vast canvas, where the tiny brushstrokes, the glint of sunlight on water, the softness of a loved one's touch, the comfort of a favorite chair, come together to create a masterpiece. By appreciating these small details, we begin to see the richness and fullness of our lives in a way that we often overlook. So, slow down. Look around you. Let the world surprise you with its quiet wonders. Happiness doesn't live in the grand, the extraordinary, or the unattainable. It's woven into the everyday moments, the ones we so often take for granted. Open your eyes, your heart, and your soul, and you'll find that joy is not something to seek. It is something to see. It is here, now, and always. The third piece of advice: learn to let go. My grandmother, a woman whose wisdom seemed carved from the trials and triumphs of a long, full life, once shared a truth with me that I carry in my heart to this day. Sitting in her favorite chair, her weathered hands folded gently in her lap, she spoke with a voice that was both tender and resolute. "I've learned," she said, "that holding on to old grudges, regrets, or wounds is like dragging a suitcase filled with heavy bricks. These bricks serve no purpose except to weigh you down, to make every step forward harder than it needs to be. The moment you let go, you'll feel a lightness you didn't know was possible. A freedom that makes the journey ahead so much easier." Her words struck a chord deep within me. In her eyes, I saw the reflection of years spent learning this lesson the hard way. I could sense the weight she must have carried in her younger days, the arguments that replayed endlessly in her mind, the mistakes she wished she could undo, the opportunities lost to time. But I could also see the serenity she had found by finally releasing it all, like a bird freed from the confines of a cage. Letting go, she taught me, is one of the hardest yet most essential acts we must undertake in life. It is a deeply personal journey, one that requires us to confront the ghosts of our past and the fears that keep us tethered to pain. So, I ask you, what is it that you're still holding on to? Is it the bitterness of a betrayal you never saw coming? Is it the sting of harsh words spoken in anger, or the weight of expectations you were never able to meet? Perhaps it's the guilt of not being enough for someone who mattered, or the endless what-ifs that haunt the quieter moments of your days. Whatever it is, I want you to imagine it as a heavy suitcase you've been carrying for far too long. This suitcase, though familiar, is not your friend. It does not serve you. Every grudge, regret, and unfulfilled expectation inside it saps your energy and keeps you from living the life you deserve. It whispers lies that you must carry it forever, that you are defined by what's inside. But here's the truth. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. And you are certainly not the pain that others have inflicted upon you. Buddhism offers profound wisdom on this matter, teaching us that letting go is not an act of forgetting but an act of liberation. It is the recognition that clinging to what no longer is only keeps us from embracing what could be. To let go is to reclaim your power, to release yourself from the shackles of resentment, and to step into the present moment with open arms. It's about accepting that the past cannot be changed and making peace with that reality. Letting go is not a sign of weakness or defeat. It's a declaration of strength, a way of saying, I will no longer let this hold me captive. Close your eyes and think about the things that keep you bound to the past. Perhaps it's a hurtful memory, a dream that didn't come true, or a relationship that ended before you were ready to let it go. Whatever it is, visualize it as a knot tied tightly around your heart. Now, with each breath you take, imagine that knot loosening. Imagine the tension melting away, the grip of those emotions releasing their hold on you. See yourself standing taller, lighter, and freer. Feel the space within you opening up, making room for peace, for joy, for new beginnings. Letting go doesn't mean you erase the lessons of the past. It doesn't mean you forget what you've endured or ignore the scars that remain. Instead, it means you choose not to let those scars define you. You choose to carry the lessons instead of the pain. You choose to move forward with the understanding that life is too precious to waste on what cannot be changed. My grandmother lived her life by this principle. She let go of the arguments she couldn't win, the opportunities that had slipped away, and even the people who had hurt her deeply. She didn't forget them. No, she carried their memory as a reminder of her resilience, of the strength it took to forgive, and of the freedom she gained by not letting those memories consume her. So, I invite you to ask yourself, what is holding you back? What would your life look like if you finally set that heavy suitcase down? What could you achieve, feel, and become if you chose to let go of the weight that no longer serves you? This act of release is not just a gift to your present self, but also to your future self, the version of you who deserves to live unburdened, free to savor the beauty and joy that life still has to offer. Letting go is not a one-time act. It's a practice, a daily choice to release and trust that life will carry you forward. It is an act of self-love, a way of saying, I deserve peace. I deserve happiness. I deserve freedom. And when you finally let go, you will realize that the lightness you feel is not just a relief, it's a rebirth. It's the beginning of a life lived fully, deeply, and with a heart unencumbered by the weight of the past. The fourth piece of advice is gratitude. As the day draws to a close and the world around you quiets, take a moment to pause, not just a fleeting moment, but a deliberate pause to reflect on the gifts the day has offered. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and let your thoughts wander to 3 things you are grateful for. These need not be grand or life-changing. In fact, it is often the smallest, most ordinary moments that carry the deepest significance. Perhaps it is the comforting aroma of a meal prepared with love, the steadfast support of a friend who listens without judgment, or the quiet, unassuming embrace of your home, a sanctuary that shelters you from the chaos of the outside world. My grandmother, a woman whose wisdom seemed to grow deeper with every year she lived, once shared a truth with me that has become a cornerstone of my life. She said, "When I take time to give thanks for what I have, it feels as though my soul is wrapped in a soft, glowing warmth." Gratitude has the power to transform even the harshest days into something beautiful, something worth cherishing. Her words, spoken with such conviction and tenderness, planted a seed in my heart, a reminder to seek the light in every situation, no matter how dim it may seem. Gratitude is not merely a fleeting feeling or a polite acknowledgement of life's blessings. It is a practice, a way of seeing the world through a lens of abundance rather than lack. It is a quiet but powerful declaration that, no matter what challenges or hardships may come, there is still beauty to be found and joy to be claimed. When we cultivate gratitude, we shift our perspective, training our hearts and minds to recognize the countless gifts we might otherwise overlook. Even in life's most difficult moments, those times when sorrow feels overwhelming and the weight of uncertainty presses heavily on our spirit, gratitude has the ability to heal. It acts as a gentle balm, soothing the ache of worry and fear, reminding us that within even the darkest clouds, there is a silver lining waiting to be discovered. Gratitude is not a denial of pain or hardship. It is an acknowledgement that, despite it all, there is still good, still hope, still love. Imagine the profound transformation that can occur when we embrace gratitude not as a passive thought but as an active practice. Each evening, as the day comes to an end, sit quietly with yourself and let gratitude guide you through the memories of the day. Reflect on the laughter you shared, the kindness you received, or even the strength you found within yourself to keep moving forward. These moments, when acknowledged and cherished, begin to weave a tapestry of abundance, painting your life with colors of joy, peace, and contentment. Gratitude is the bridge that connects us to the present moment, grounding us in the now while illuminating the richness of our lives. It allows us to see that even on the hardest days, there is something worth holding on to, something that reminds us why life is worth living. And when practiced daily, it becomes a transformative force, turning even the smallest flickers of light into radiant beacons of hope. So, tonight, as the stars begin to twinkle in the vastness of the sky, let gratitude be your companion. Hold it close to your heart and let it guide you to a place of peace. In doing so, you'll find that no matter how turbulent life may seem, there will always be something to be grateful for. Something to remind you that life, in all its imperfections, is still exquisitely beautiful. The fifth and most important piece of advice is to find time for inner silence. My grandmother, a woman whose wisdom flowed like a deep, calm river, once told me something that has stayed with me ever since. Silence is not emptiness. It's the moment when you hear yourself, your true self. She would speak of silence as if it were a dear friend, one who patiently waits for you to notice it, to embrace its comforting arms. She believed that in the quiet moments of life when the world fades into the background, we can finally hear the whispers of our hearts, the truths we often overlook in the rush of daily life. She encouraged me to set aside time each day, whether in the early stillness of morning or the tranquil hush of evening, to simply be. She taught me that this practice of stillness, this deliberate act of sitting with oneself, is not difficult. It does not require grand gestures or complicated techniques. All it asks is that you find a comfortable seat, Close your eyes and breathe. Feel the coolness of the air as it enters your nose, the fullness as it fills your lungs, and the release as it leaves your body. This simple rhythm, often unnoticed, becomes a symphony of life, a reminder that even in stillness, there is motion and vitality. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Buddhist teachings capture this beautifully. True peace is not something you acquire from the outside world. It does not lie in material possessions, accolades, or the approval of others. True peace resides within you, a treasure buried beneath layers of distraction, waiting to be uncovered. When you surrender to silence, you stop depending on the unpredictable and fleeting satisfaction of external events. Instead, you awaken to the profound realization that happiness is not something you pursue. It is something you already carry within you, quietly waiting to be noticed. We live in an age where rushing has become the norm, where the measure of success is too often tied to how much we accomplish and how fast we can do it. From the time we are children, society instills in us the belief that relentless activity is synonymous with achievement. Keep moving, stay busy, do more, it whispers. But seldom do we pause to ask ourselves, is this constant striving making me happy? For many, the answer is no. The endless race often leaves us drained, unfulfilled, and yearning for a peace we've forgotten how to find. As we grow older, our bodies start to send subtle, insistent messages. Slow down, rest, breathe. But our minds, conditioned by years of running at full speed, struggle to comply. We feel guilt creeping in, a nagging voice that says, "You're not doing enough." We carry this burden into what should be the most peaceful and reflective chapter of our lives. And yet, this stage of life offers a beautiful opportunity. It invites us to redefine what it means to do enough. Buddhist wisdom reminds us that happiness is not found in the speed of our movements, but in the harmony of living at a pace that suits us. To slow down is not to fail, but to honor the natural rhythms of our lives. It is in these slower, quieter moments that we truly see the beauty of the world around us, and the beauty within ourselves. Consider this. What if, instead of measuring your days by what you accomplish, you measure them by how deeply you connect with others, with nature, and most importantly, with yourself? What if you saw rest not as an indulgence but as a necessity, as vital to your well-being as air and water? So, take my grandmother's advice to heart. Create a ritual of silence, a sacred daily practice that becomes as natural as brushing your teeth or drinking your morning tea. Find a place where you can sit undisturbed, where the distractions of the world cannot reach you. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and let yourself simply be. At first, your mind may resist, restless and noisy. But over time, as you practice this act of stillness, you will find that the noise quiets. And in that silence, you will hear something extraordinary. Your voice, steady and clear, reminding you of who you are and what truly matters. Silence is not empty. It is full of possibility, full of wisdom. It is the place where you discover that you are enough, just as you are. It is where you find freedom from the expectations of the world and peace in the truth of your being. Embrace it, nurture it, and let it guide you back to yourself. As we come to the end of this journey into the power of inner silence and the wisdom it brings, I want to take a moment to reflect with you. What stood out to you the most? Was it my grandmother's timeless advice about hearing your true self in the quiet moments, or perhaps the realization that happiness is something you already carry within you? I encourage you to think about one thing you've learned from this video that truly resonates with you. What practice or perspective will you bring into your life starting today? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your reflections and experiences. If you enjoyed this video and found it valuable, please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Let's continue this journey together toward a life filled with wisdom, peace, and fulfillment. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to reading your insights below.